All right, Shalom. Real quick, I want to go ahead and I gotta put this live stream up. Right now, I put it in private just so I could go through, edit the name and the description box. So just like last stream, go ahead and skip probably about 4 minutes ahead, so then we'll get to the stream. Okay, but I'm gonna take this time real quick to go ahead and edit this. So if you're watching after the stream, go ahead and skip maybe 4 minutes of the video. All right, looks like we are live now. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna log into another account just so I can make sure it's global now, and then we'll get right into the show. Let's see. Just gonna search for it real quick. All right, see it. Click on it. Sounds like the voice is doing all right. Okay, so I'll leave that to the side in case we get any Akium who decide to join us in today's streaming. I'm gonna pull up the stream on my computer right here, or my iPad, whatever you want to call it. Well, to be exact, some tablet. Just so I can observe the chat. Let's see. All right, pull that up there. All right, and then it's lucky if it takes me a couple minutes to get situated. You know, it always, if any of you done a live show before, then you know the preparation that one has to go through before you hit the go live button. But sadly for me, because I'm using a different app, because when on the YouTube itself you can't go live under 1,000 subscribers, so we got to use I guess one could say a third a party system, so to speak, in order to be able to go live on YouTube. Okay, so it gives inconsistencies, but at the same time it's a very good app. The app I'm using is called Lola TV. All right, Lola TV. I'm 90% sure that's what it is, but maybe my memory does not serve me correctly. But I digress. All right, the name of this stream is going to be 2020 will be a spiritual year, end times. Okay, so last stream we touched on Matthew the 24th chapter. But this stream, I might get into that, but I have some opening scriptures I want to bring out first. So I'm of course, gonna get one of the most popular scriptures we read, which, as I said, we sound like a broken record by the amount of times I go into these things, but it has to be done. It has to be done because who knows, man? You know, you're always gonna get new people who click on your content for the first time. Okay. Let's see. We'll go to Revelation chapter 13 and verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast will both speak and calls, that as many as would not worship the image of the beast, they should be put to death. And he calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. All right, so as I said, we always sound like a broken record by the amount of times we bring these things out. But the reason I'm bringing this out now is because, even in this new year, 2020, you've been seeing, pushes, if I can speak today, pushes towards this prophecy here. Okay, and you can just look it up online. Just look up RFID microchip. Okay, so you clearly see that it clearly is happening, man. All right, this prophecy of the scriptures has finally started to come to pass. Let me see real quick. Let's get Habakkuk chapter 2. Habakkuk chapter 2 and 1. I will stand upon my watch, and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. The Lord answered me and said, Write the vision, make it plain upon tables, that he may run that reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Right, so even though it seems like it's taken a while, like I remember, man, just a side story of myself, before I, came on YouTube and taught here, I used to, of course, believe in this stuff before I came on here. I've been in the truth for 6 years. Okay, so, I've been teaching for all those 6 years. Hey, Jared McDane. Hey, Shalom, my brother. Yes, you cannot see me. I explained before, you might not have called it. I'm using a third-party streaming app. Okay, so you really can't see me on here because it's not an average app. Okay, I'm going to do some more research on it. Maybe there's a button I can push where I can show myself on here. All right, so if I can find that, I will surely do so. How are you doing, brother McDane? Long time no see, my man. Long time no see. All right, hey, you still don't know them skipjes. You still don't know them skipjes. Inside joke. But hey, man, nevertheless, it's always good to have that brother on here. Hey, he might learn something new. That brother might learn something new from us. Just messing with you, man. Just messing with you. Now, let me see real quick. Of course, one of the charging outlets is giving an issue, of course. Let's see if I can go ahead and rearrange real quick. There we go. As I was saying, I myself been in this truth for 6 years. Okay, and over those 6 years, I have taught that the RFID microchip is the mark. And I even taught that before I came across the apostles of GMS, man. I learned that from so-called Christianity. So as I said, man, you got some Christians who know the scriptures. You got some Christians who know some of the scriptures. All right, and that's a very little percentage, though. That's a very little percentage. All right, it's lucky if I stutter, but you still get the point. Let's see. And yeah, I wasn't planning on going live today. If I was last night, I would have put a disclaimer out saying put your notification bell on so Akim would be notified that we stream right now. Because a lot of Akim are either at school, at work, at interviews, kind of like an inside joke. You really can't hold a position that long in this society, man. And we all speak from experience. Well, majority of us, that is. Let's see. Now, I'll bring out whatever the Spirit wills. Whatever the Spirit wants us to bring out, we will get into it. I will say, however, you know what? Matter of fact, do I want to play that? If he didn't take down the stream, I might go ahead and play some audio of that real quick, just so I can see. Might want to do a commentary on that real quick. The other day I was catching up with one of the Akim, the loving Christian. Me and that brother were just going back and forth. It was a friendly conversation. And I'd say we actually agreed on certain subjects in the scriptures. Okay? Now, one topic that just came to mind, I told your brother that next time I would do my stream, which is today now, I would touch on the topic of reincarnation. It appears that he had taken the chat down. He had taken the video down. Okay, so I can't go over that. But one of the things that we touched on in the stream was the topic of reincarnation. Okay, now I want to get something real quick. Alright, I brought this scripture up to the brother. And he said this wasn't talking about reincarnation. Okay? This is the book of Job, chapter 19 and verse 25. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and that he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. And though after my skin worms destroy this body, yet in my flesh shall I see God, whom I shall see for myself, and mine eyes shall behold, and not another, though my reins be consumed within me. So, what is that talking about? This man's saying, yeah, I'm going to die, but in my flesh I'm still going to see the Most High. So how is that going to happen? Obviously, that has to be dealing with some type of reincarnation. Alright, now one of my personal favorites, let me get this real quick. Bear with me. Alright. Revelation chapter 10 and verse 11. And he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. Now wait a second. Now this is referring to the prophet John. Now anybody knows about John, he was taken to an island named Patmos, where he was sent there to basically, to decay and die. And that's where he wrote the book of Revelation on. Okay, now, the interesting thing is, as far as we know, this prophet had died on this island. So my question would be, to anybody who believes that, well, if we just read in the scriptures that he would come back again to the word I'm looking for, to teach, as it said, I'll read the scripture one more time, Revelation 10 and 11, and he said unto me, Thou must prophesy again before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. Now, when is that going to happen? How is that going to happen if this man is dead and never coming back? Well, until the resurrection, which, side note, by the way, there are two resurrections. The scriptures say, blessed is the man who has part in the first resurrection. Okay, but there's a second resurrection as well. Okay, but I'll get into that in the future. I'm not going to touch on that at this particular moment. That's a whole nother experience, or I should say video, for next time. Okay, let's see. And of course, that brother on there, loving Christian, right? He teaches that what was it? That Jerusalem is Mystery Babylon, and he said, yeah, I saw your video, Yasha. I saw your video you did about how Jerusalem is not Babylon, and he said, well, you didn't prove anything. Well, brother, if you watch the video, right, I showed an image of the location of Jerusalem. Okay, I showed the location of Jerusalem. Now the thing is that if you look at it, right, the location of Jerusalem is actually not located near the sea. Okay, so my question would be to anybody who says that Jerusalem is Babylon, Well, if Jerusalem is not located near the sea, and the scriptures speak about when it gives away the location of Babylon, right? It says that he saw merchants coming on ships to this country. Now, my question would be, how could that be Jerusalem if Jerusalem does not trade by sea? All right. Now, he said, well, but they do trade by the sea, and fair enough. If you look up the imports and exports, it does say they bring certain merchandises by the sea. That is true. So I'll give you that. However, with that being said, they are not located near the sea. They are a ways away. Okay, they are a ways away from the sea. Okay, however, America, on the other hand, they're right up on the sea, man. They are right up on the sea. Okay, and you can just pull up a map of the United States of America, and you can clearly see for yourself that America is literally located on the sea. Okay? So boats, ships can bring merchandise directly into America without having to go through other lands in order to export, or I should say to transport would be a better word, to transport those goods into America, because they're right there off of the sea. Okay? Unlike Jerusalem, you gotta carry it across, vast lands in order to transport it from the sea shore to Jerusalem. Okay? Jerusalem is not located near the sea. Yeah, you ever see that movie? What is it? World War Z, right? You ever see that movie, World War Z? There was a scene in that movie where, basically, you might want to skip ahead maybe 2 minutes because I'm going to give away some spoilers. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, so I'll just say what I remember. Basically, the zombie outbreak ended up taking out majority of the world. So what ended up happening, one of the safe havens, so to speak, was Jerusalem. And the reason why is because Jerusalem, they actually built a wall around Jerusalem. Okay, they had it to where only certain people could enter and exit the city. Okay, they had it basically closed off. Okay, and if you watch the movie, basically they're just around a bunch of sand and wilderness. There's no sea in sight. That's how the zombies were able to after a while they're able to come together and climb the wall in order to jump to the survivors that were underneath. All right, so they were able to invade Jerusalem. Making a long story short, I'm not going to get into the whole movie. You can go ahead and watch that yourself. Very good movie, by the way. I spent $10 on it. It's a very good movie. I recommend you go ahead and watch that. Once again, the name is World War Z. Okay, which they actually are making the second one to it. Probably be out in maybe 3-4 years or so. And we can get into that for a little bit about spiritual movies. Okay, honorable mention. What about and as I said, spoiler alert, because some of you probably haven't seen these movies. But hey, I let you know beforehand. What about the movie Independence Day, the one with Will Smith in it? All right, I'm sure we all seen that movie. But what a lot of people don't know is that actually came from the scriptures. Okay, that idea to have a massive UFO, or what they call UFOs, which the word UFO just means a unidentified flying object. So I suppose you could call it a UFO, because they don't know what it is. We know, but we'll just leave it at that. But anyway, if you watch the movie, there's a scene where the UFO ends up hovering over New York City. Now you'll notice that in 90% of these UFO movies, it is always America that these UFOs are coming up against. Why is that? Why is it never, let's say, Asia? Why is it never India? Why is it never China, nor North Korea, nor Russia? Why is it none of those countries? I've seen maybe Jerusalem 1 or 2 times, but other than that, it's always America. Why is that? Because they know these scriptures, man. They know these scriptures. Okay, they know these scriptures. Okay. Now, anyway, back to what I was saying. In the scene, what happened was the UFO, it opened up from underneath, and it shot down fire on New York City, and it killed everybody. If I'm not mistaken, the only survivor was I believe it was, what was it, Will Smith's wife and her dog, and I believe her child was there as well. I could be mistaken. Maybe she wasn't his wife. It's been maybe, I want to say maybe 9 years since I've seen that movie, so I'm just going off memory. But there's only a few survivors. One of them was a dog, of course. Anyway, let's see. So yeah, that's a very spiritual movie, man. They got that they got that in what's the word I'm looking for? Inspiration would be the word I meant to say, from the scriptures. And one scripture I'm going to pull it up right now. They actually got the idea for Independence Day from the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. Okay? What is it? Let's see. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And though there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousand of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth fails when it feels the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and he flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereof the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him, they were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. Right, and now let's stop there for a second. Later on in the movie, they ended up having, basically everybody was afraid to, fight these aliens, but then they all teamed up in order to fight the aliens. They ended up winning at the end. But the point of the matter is that they were all afraid, but they had to fight. As it says right here, let's read it verse 8 again. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him, they were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. And though as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held a sword, nor any instruments of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth. And again, this is talking about the UFO now. Okay, this is out of his mouth. That's not talking about Yahweh Shai. That's talking about the UFO. Okay, and if you see in the movie, as I said, the bottom of the UFO opened and it shot a laser beam to New York City, which destroyed the whole place. Okay, so that's exactly what happens here. He sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together. The blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and they fell with violence upon the multitude, which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of a innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Right, so they took that part of 2nd Ezra's, and they truly added that into them scriptures. All right, let me phrase myself. I said that wrong. Hey, Slaki, I got a lot on my mind. Sometimes that happens. Anyway, as I was saying, they took that from the scriptures and they put that into the movie. Okay, Salakia. Let's see. And there's also mention of that same event in the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter. But yeah, man, the point of the matter is they got this inspiration for these movies from them scriptures. Okay, another honorable mention, one of my personal favorite movies. You have a movie out there by the name of, which I own it. It's named The Fifth Wave. Okay, I'm sure a lot of you, Akia, might have seen this movie. Kind of like a low budget movie though. But after, with that being said, it was still very good, very good. And I will indeed see the second one when it comes out, because if I'm not mistaken, they're making a second movie, because the movie ends off, which again, spoiler alert, but the movie ends off with all the survivors basically preparing to fight back against the others in the second, or I guess we could say the sequel to the movie. Okay? So I'm going to spoil some things here. So once again, if you haven't seen the movie, you might want to skip this part. Once again, Fifth Wave, very spiritual movie. And the way it is because it all revolves around that microchip. Okay? In the movie, they trick the survivors to think that that a group out there who they call the others, which are really, who they want people to think aliens coming to invade the earth, right? But they call them the others. And the only way to see these others is to get a microchip implanted under their skin. Now, the twist of events, it actually turns out that the others are actually those who have not received the microchip. And the military are actually the bad guys. Okay? The ones who are trying to kill those who do not have the microchip. So let me say that again. The others are the ones who do not have the microchip. All right? So they're trying to, the so-called military, trying to make the others, which are those who do not have the microchip, look like the bad guys. Look like the so-called, astral aliens, as they call them. Let's see. So all revolved around that microchip, okay? But then they end up finding out that, that it actually is the microchip that makes them think that these others are the aliens. As I said, it's a very, very good movie. Low budget, of course, but, still very good. Highly recommend any Akim go ahead and pick that movie up next time you go to the store. Probably find it at Walmart or something like that. You might still have it. Let's see. Might not go a full hour this stream because I have a couple lessons I want to go ahead and get out of the way. I want to make a backlog as well because in a couple weeks here I got to head out for a couple days, visit some relatives. So I want to have a backlog that I can, find the video that I don't got the time to make. I'll have some put to the side that I can put up for Akim. Because we always want to have, if possible, always daily lessons, okay? But you can't always do it. Like even Elder Apostle Dahar, if you go to his channel, he's gone maybe 4 weeks at times without uploading a single video. But then he'll come back and upload 5 videos in a day. Which, fun fact, by the way, even Elder Apostle Dahar will admit my flow is insane. All right, because at one point, man, which my Hebrew name is Yash or Yasha, okay, which means he fire, which I actually got the inspiration of that from GMS Akim. They gave me that name because at one point, Dahar was even impressed because I could upload 10, 20 videos in one day. All right, so Dahar was like, hey, that brother, that flow is insane, is what that brother was saying about me. So yeah, Elder Dahar knows who I am, man. Elder Dahar knows who I am, Yasha. All right, from ETT to End Time Teachers. All right. And again, I respect the Elder Apostle because he is a very intelligent man. But with that being said, there's certain things that he's going off on. Okay? Like the whole flat earth issue. Well, first of all, brother, I've seen the video where you and, or maybe not you, it was, what was his name? Elder Apostle Rakah, Elder Apostle Ramlab, and Elder Apostle Gabar, which I respect all those brothers, all right? I truly respect those brothers. But the scriptures tell you in the Apocrypha, for great men are not always wise, neither do the aged understand judgment, okay? And the scriptures say, be not afraid to inform an elder, okay? So I'm going to inform you, all right, that you went off, okay? Because you made a statement, a foolish-ass accusation in your video when you were trying to expose the flat earth. You said, well, go find the edge of the earth. Go ahead and take a picture of the edge of the earth. Being sarcastic, but at the same time being serious is what they were doing. Now, you've just shown that you're full of ignorance because nobody believes the earth has an edge. So you just disobeyed the scriptures because the scriptures say understand first, then rebuke. So if you are misrepresenting what we're teaching, well, you're in violation of the scriptures. For example, let's say LUIC, GMS teach to go rape little children. Obviously, that's not true. Obviously, nobody's teaching to go do that, man. Okay, and you guys always get offended and uptight about that. But then you guys turn around and say, well, go find the edge of the earth. Well, nobody believes the earth has an edge. You're just saying that in order to cause division, in order to make people point and laugh at what we're saying without actually understanding what it is that we're actually saying. Okay?
So that's hypocrisy right there. Okay, so that has to be pointed out. Okay, so as I said, I have great respect for the men of Great Millstone, and I truly, sincerely believe that the elders of GMS are the men of the Most High. But with that being said, there are one or two topics, okay, mainly the flat earth, that GMS is going off on. Okay, so if I was to not point that out, well, I'd be in violation of the scriptures. Because the scriptures say, let me remember the scripture. Scriptures say you have to call out the fault on another brother, man. If they're going off, you have to correct them. They're paraphrasing the scripture. And that's in the scriptures. The scriptures say if your brother goes off, you are to correct them. Okay? So it's not that we're hating on you. It's just, hey, brother, you went off. I'm proving to you that you went off. So here's your correction. All right? Take it like a man. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's very simple. I mean, this isn't complex to understand. Okay? Let's see. I might go ahead and end the stream off with that. That's all I wanted to address. I got to work on a couple other lessons. Maybe I'll put some up later. I might do another stream tomorrow morning, if the Spirit wills. That is, I might not be able to. If the Spirit wills, I'll do one tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. With that being said, I of course want to end off by giving all praises unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. With that being said, I'm going to say shalom.